Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life when everything feels uncertain, when doors seem closed, prayers seem unanswered, and the path ahead looks unclear. You may find yourself wondering if God is listening, if He sees your struggles, if He truly cares about what you are going through. But what you must understand is this: before divine help arrives, there are often signs, subtle, powerful, unmistakable indicators that something is shifting in your favor. When God is about to help you, your life begins to change in ways you may not immediately recognize, but if you pay attention, you will see them clearly. One of the first things you will notice is a growing sense of discomfort. Things that once satisfied you will no longer feel right. Places you used to enjoy may begin to feel empty. People you once connected with may no longer align with your spirit. This is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something is changing. God often creates discomfort to move you out of places where you no longer belong. He is preparing you for something greater, and in order to receive it, you must be willing to let go of what is familiar. Growth and comfort rarely exist in the same space. Another sign is increased opposition. It may seem strange, but when God is about to move in your life, challenges often intensify. You may face unexpected setbacks, criticism, or obstacles that test your patience and faith. But these are not meant to destroy you, they are meant to strengthen you. Resistance is often the evidence that you are moving in the right direction. Just as a muscle grows stronger under pressure, your faith deepens when it is tested. Do not interpret difficulty as defeat. Instead, see it as preparation. God is equipping you for what lies ahead. At the same time, you will begin to experience a deeper sense of clarity within yourself, even if your external circumstances remain uncertain. Something inside you will start to shift. You will feel a quiet confidence, a steady assurance that things are going to work out, even if you do not know how. This inner peace does not come from your situation. It comes from God. It is His way of reminding you that He is in control, that He has not forgotten you, and that He is working behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet see. You may also notice that certain doors begin to close. Opportunities you hoped for may fall through. Plans you carefully made may not work out. At first, this can feel disappointing, even painful. But what you must remember is that closed doors are often divine protection. God sees what you cannot see. He knows what is ahead, and sometimes He prevents you from walking into situations that would harm you or distract you from your purpose. When a door closes, trust that it is not the end, it is redirection. It is God guiding you towards something better. Another powerful sign is a renewed desire to seek God. You may find yourself praying more, reflecting more, searching for meaning and direction. This is not a coincidence. When God is preparing to help you, He often draws you closer to Him. He wants your attention, your trust, your dependence in those quiet moments of prayer and reflection. He is shaping your heart, aligning your thoughts, and preparing you to receive what He has planned for you. The closer you draw to Him, the clearer your path becomes. You may also experience unexpected favor. Small things may start to go your way. You may meet the right person at the right time, receive help from an unexpected source, or find solutions to problems that once seemed impossible. These moments may seem insignificant, but they are not. They are reminders that God is actively involved in your life. They are signs that He is opening doors, making connections, and setting things in motion on your behalf. At times, you will feel a strong urge to let go of control. You will realize that no matter how much you plan or try to manage every detail, there are things beyond your ability to handle. This realization can be humbling, but it is also freeing. When God is about to help you, He teaches you to surrender. He invites you to release your fears, your doubts, your need to understand everything, and to trust Him fully. Surrender is not weakness, it is faith in action. It is the acknowledgement that God's wisdom is greater than your own. You may also find that your perspective begins to change. Situations that once frustrated you may no longer have the same power over you. You may begin to see challenges as opportunities, setbacks as lessons, and delays as part of a greater plan. This shift in perspective is a sign of spiritual growth. It means that God is transforming the way you think, helping you to see your life through His eyes, rather than your own limited understanding. Another sign is the restoration of hope. Even in the midst of difficulty, you will begin to feel a renewed sense of expectation. You will start to believe again, to dream again, to look forward to the future with anticipation rather than fear. Hope is a powerful force, and it is often a clear indication that God is at work. He plants hope in your heart as a promise of what is to come, and finally, you will begin to see results. They may not come all at once, and they may not look exactly as you expected, but they will come. Doors will open. Prayers will be answered. Paths will become clear. What once seemed impossible will become reality, and when that moment arrives, you will look back and realize that every challenge, every delay, every moment of uncertainty was part of a greater plan. You will see that God was with you all along, guiding you, strengthening you, preparing you for the blessing that was on its way. So if you find yourself in a season of discomfort, opposition, or uncertainty, do not lose heart. Pay attention to the signs. Trust the process. Believe that something greater is unfolding, even if you cannot yet see it. Because when God is about to help you, your life will begin to shift in ways that point you toward His purpose, His timing, and His perfect plan. When God is about to help you, one of the clearest yet most misunderstood signs is the discomfort you begin to feel in places that once felt normal. Suddenly, environments you were once comfortable in start to feel heavy. Conversations that used to excite you begin to drain you, and routines that once gave you satisfaction now feel empty. It is not because you have become ungrateful or difficult. It is because something within you is changing. God is shifting your spirit before He shifts your situation. He is opening your eyes to what no longer fits your purpose, and this awakening can feel confusing at first. You may try to hold on to what is familiar because it is safe, predictable, and known. But the truth is, growth often requires separation. When God is preparing to help you, He begins by removing your attachment to what is comfortable but no longer beneficial. You might notice that certain friendships begin to fade, not necessarily because of conflict, but because there is no longer alignment. The connection feels forced, the conversations lack depth, and your spirit no longer feels at peace in those interactions. This is not rejection, it is redirection. God is making room in your life for people who will support your next level, not keep you tied to your past. In the same way you may feel restless in your current circumstances, whether it is your work, your daily routine, or even your mindset, there is a growing sense that you cannot stay where you are. You may not yet know where you are going, but you are becoming increasingly aware that where you are is no longer enough. This restlessness is not meant to frustrate you. It is meant to move you. God often uses this internal discomfort as a signal that it is time to step forward, even if the path ahead is not fully clear. What makes this season challenging is that the new has not yet fully appeared while the old is already losing its hold. You find yourself in between, no longer satisfied with where you were, but not yet settled into where you were going. This in-between space can feel uncertain and even lonely. You may question yourself, wondering if you are making the right decisions or if you are simply overthinking. But deep down, there is a quiet knowing that something is changing. Something is being rearranged beyond your understanding. During this time, it is important to trust that God is working with intention. He does not create discomfort without purpose. Every uneasy feeling, every moment of dissatisfaction, every sense that something is off is part of a greater process. He is loosening your grip on what is familiar so that you can receive what is better. If you were completely comfortable, you would never move. If everything felt perfect, you would never grow. So God, in His wisdom, allows discomfort to become the catalyst for transformation. You may also notice that your desires begin to change. Things you once chased no longer hold the same value. Your priorities shift, your focus sharpens, and your heart begins to seek something deeper and more meaningful. This is a powerful sign that God is aligning your desires with His will. He is preparing you not just to receive help, but to sustain the blessings that are sea. Amen. Because sometimes the greatest challenge is not receiving something new, but being ready for it when it arrives. There may also be moments when you feel misunderstood by others. People around you may not fully understand why you are changing, why you are pulling back, or why you no longer engage in the same way. They may question your decisions or even misinterpret your intentions. But you must remember that not everyone is meant to understand your journey. When God is working in your life, the changes He is making are often deeply personal. You do not need validation from others to follow the direction He is leading you in. This season of discomfort also teaches you to rely less on external stability and more on internal faith. When everything around you feels uncertain, you are forced to look within, to strengthen your trust in God, and to develop a deeper sense of spiritual resilience. You begin to realize that your peace cannot depend on circumstances, because circumstances can change. Instead, your peace must come from knowing that God is in control, even when you are not. At times, you may be tempted to return to what is familiar simply to escape the discomfort. The past may seem appealing because it is known and predictable. But going back will only delay what God is trying to do in your life. The discomfort you feel is not meant to push you backward. It is meant to propel you forward. It is a sign that you are outgrowing your old life and stepping into something new. As you move through this season, it is important to remain patient with yourself. Growth is not always immediate, and clarity does not always come instantly. There will be moments of doubt, moments of hesitation, and moments when you wish things were easier. But every step you take, even the uncertain ones, is part of the journey God is leading you through. You must also learn to ace the process rather than resist it. Instead of asking why things feel uncomfortable, begin to ask what this discomfort is teaching you. Instead of focusing on what you are losing, focus on what you are gaining. Because even though it may not be visible yet, something greater is being prepared for you, and as difficult as this season may feel, it is also a sign of progress. It means you are not stuck. It means you are not settling. It means God is actively working in your life, shaping you, guiding you, and preparing you for the help that is on the way when God is about to help you. Life does not always become easier. In fact, it often becomes more challenging. This is one of the most confusing parts of the journey because we naturally expect that divine help will remove obstacles, not increase them. But the truth is, increased opposition is often a clear sign that something significant is about to happen in your life. The pressure you feel is not meant to break you. It is meant to prepare you. You may begin to notice that problems arise from unexpected places. Situations that once seemed stable may suddenly become uncertain. People may misunderstand you, opportunities may fall apart, and progress may feel slower than ever. It can feel like everything is working against you at the very moment you are trying your best to move forward. But what you must understand is that opposition often intensifies when you are close to a breakthrough. It is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you are advancing. Challenges have a way of revealing what is inside you. When everything is going well, it is easy to feel confident, patient, and faithful. But when difficulties arise, your true strength is tested. You begin to see whether your faith is rooted in circumstances or in something deeper. God uses these moments to refine you, to strengthen your character, and to build a foundation that can support the blessings He is preparing to give you. Because without strength, without patience, without resilience, even the greatest blessings can become overwhelming. There is also a purpose behind the timing of these challenges. They often appear just when you think you cannot handle any more. You may feel stretched beyond your limits, pushed into situations that require more from you than you believe you have to give. But this is where growth happens. God sees your potential even when you do not. He knows what you are capable of, and He allows pressure to bring that potential to the surface. What feels like too much for you is never too much with Him guiding you. Increased opposition also teaches you endurance. It forces you to keep going even when you feel tired, to keep believing even when you cannot see results, and to keep trusting even when doubts try to take over your mind. Endurance is not developed in comfort. It is developed in difficulty. And once you have it, you become unstoppable in ways you never imagined. You are no longer easily shaken by setbacks or discouraged by delays because you have learned how to stand firm in the midst of challenges. You may also notice that these challenges come with emotional weight. It is not just about external problems. It is also about internal battles. You may struggle with fear, doubt, frustration, or even moments of discouragement. You may question whether you are on the right path or whether your efforts are worth it. These internal struggles are just as important as the external ones because they shape your mindset. God is not only working on your situation, He is working on your thoughts, your beliefs, and your perspective. What is important to remember is that opposition is not permanent. It is temporary and it serves a purpose. Every challenge you face is preparing you for something greater. It is teaching you lessons that you will need in the next phase of your life. It is building strength in areas where you were once weak. It is showing you how to rely on God instead of relying solely on your own understanding. Sometimes the opposition you face is also a form of protection. It may seem like something is being taken away from you, but in reality, you are being redirected. What looks like a setback may actually be a setup for something better. God may be closing certain paths because they are not aligned with His plan for you. He may be allowing difficulties to arise so that you do not become comfortable in a place that is not meant for you. During this season, it is easy to become discouraged. You may feel like giving up, like stepping back, or like settling for less than what you truly desire. But this is exactly when you must remain strong. The greatest breakthroughs often come after the hardest battles. If you quit too soon, you may miss the very thing you have been waiting for. Every step you take, even the difficult ones, is bringing you closer to the help that God is preparing for you. You will also begin to notice that with every challenge you overcome, you become stronger. What once felt impossible becomes manageable. What once overwhelmed you no longer has the same power over you. You start to see progress, even if it is small at first. And with that progress comes confidence. The confidence that you can handle whatever comes your way because you are not facing it alone. Increased opposition is also a reminder that your life has purpose. Not everyone faces the same level of challenges, and that is because not everyone is called to the same level of growth. The struggles you are experiencing are shaping you for something meaningful. They are preparing you for opportunities, responsibilities, and blessings that require strength, wisdom, and resilience. It is also during these moments that your faith becomes more real. It is no longer just something you talk about. It becomes something you live. You learn to trust God, not only when things are going well, but also when everything seems uncertain. You begin to understand that faith is not about having all the answers. It is about trusting even when you do not understand the process. There will be moments when you feel like you are standing alone, like no one fully understands what you are going through. But even in those moments, you are not alone. God is present in every challenge, guiding you, strengthening you, and preparing you for what is ahead. The opposition you face is not a sign of abandonment. It is a sign of preparation. And as you continue to move forward, you will begin to see that every challenge had a purpose. Every obstacle taught you something valuable. Every moment of difficulty made you stronger, wiser, and more prepared. What once felt like a burden will become a testimony of growth, resilience, and faith. When God is about to help you, the most profound changes often begin within you rather than around you. While you may be looking for visible signs, open doors, sudden breakthroughs, or dramatic shifts, God quietly starts His work in your heart and mind first. Before He changes your circumstances, He changes you. This inner transformation is one of the clearest indicators that something significant is about to happen, even if everything on the outside still appears the same. You may begin to notice a sense of peace that does not match your situation. Problems may still exist, uncertainties may still surround you, yet deep inside there is a calmness that cannot be explained. This peace is not based on logic or visible outcomes. It is rooted in trust. It is God reassuring you that He is in control, even when life feels unpredictable. This kind of peace becomes your anchor, keeping you steady when everything else feels unstable. Along with peace comes clarity. Things that once confused you begin to make sense. Decisions that once felt overwhelming become easier to navigate. You start to see situations from a different perspective, not just reacting emotionally, but responding with wisdom. This clarity is not something you create on your own. It is given to you. God is aligning your thoughts with His direction, helping you understand what truly matters and what no longer deserves your energy. At the same time, you may feel a stronger desire to seek God. Prayer becomes more meaningful, not just something you do out of routine, but something you genuinely long for. You may find yourself reflecting more, spending time in quiet moments, searching for guidance and understanding. This shift is intentional. God draws you closer to Him when He is preparing to move in your life because He wants your focus to be on Him rather than on your circumstances. In that closeness, you find strength, direction, and reassurance. You may also notice that certain doors begin to close, sometimes unexpectedly. Opportunities you were counting on may disappear. Plans you carefully made may fall apart, and paths you thought were right may suddenly be blocked. At first, this can feel disappointing and confusing. You may question why things are not working out the way you hoped. But what you must understand is that these closed doors are not accidents. They are part of God's protection and guidance. God sees beyond what you can see. He knows the outcomes, the hidden challenges, and the long-term impact of every decision. When He closes a door, it is often because that path is not aligned with His plan for you. It may look good on the surface, but it may not be right for your future. By closing that door, He is preventing you from settling for less than what He has prepared for you. What feels like rejection is often redirection towards something better. This process requires trust, especially when you do not have all the answers. It is easy to trust when things are going your way, but it becomes more difficult when things are uncertain. You may wonder if you are making the right choices, if you are on the right path, or if things will ever fall into place. But this is where faith becomes essential. Faith is not about understanding everything. It is about trusting that God understands everything, even when you do not. During this time, you may also feel a shift in your priorities. Things that once seemed important may no longer hold the same value. You begin to focus more on what truly matters, your growth, your purpose, your relationship with God. Distractions lose their appeal, and your attention becomes more intentional. This shift is a sign that you are being prepared for something greater. God is refining your focus so that when opportunities come, you are ready to recognize and embrace them. Another important aspect of this inner transformation is the way you begin to handle situations. You may find yourself reacting differently to challenges. Instead of becoming overwhelmed, you remain calm. Instead of responding with frustration, you choose patience. Instead of giving in to fear, you hold on to hope. These changes may seem small, but they are powerful. They show that you are growing, that your mindset is evolving, and that you are becoming stronger from within. You may also experience moments of silence where it feels like nothing is happening. No clear answers, no visible progress, just a quiet waiting period. This silence can be uncomfortable because it tests your patience, but it is in this silence that God is doing some of his deepest work. Just because you can, movement does not mean nothing is happening. Sometimes the most important changes are the ones that take place beneath the surface. This season also teaches you to rely less on external validation. You no longer need constant reassurance from others because your confidence comes from within. You begin to trust your instincts, your growth, and your connection with God. You understand that not everyone will see what you see or feel what you feel, and that is okay. Your journey is unique, and the work God is doing in your life is personal. As you continue to grow internally, you will start to notice subtle shifts externally. Opportunities may begin to align, people may enter your life at the right time, and situations may start to move in your favor. But these external changes are a reflection of the internal work that has already taken place. Because once you are prepared on the inside, you are ready to handle what is coming on the outside. This entire process is about alignment. God is aligning your heart, your mind, your desires, and your path with his plan. He is preparing you not just to receive help, but to recognize it, appreciate it, and use it wisely. Without this preparation, even the greatest opportunities can be missed or mishandled. And as this transformation continues, you begin to realize that the waiting was not wasted. Every moment of uncertainty, every closed door, every quiet season had a purpose. They were all part of a greater plan to shape you into the person you need to be for what is ahead. When God is about to help you, there comes a moment when the signs are no longer just internal or subtle. They begin to show up in visible, tangible ways. After seasons of waiting, discomfort, and preparation, you start to notice small but meaningful shifts in your life. These shifts may not appear dramatic at first, but they carry a sense of purpose and timing that cannot be ignored. It is as if things begin to align in a way that reminds you that you are not alone and that something greater is unfolding. One of the first things you may notice is unexpected favor. Situations that once seemed difficult begin to ease. You may find doors opening that you did not force, opportunities appearing that you did not chase, and solutions coming together in ways you could not have planned. This favor is not random. It is intentional. It is a reflection of God's hand at work in your life, orchestrating events and placing you in the right position at the right time. You may also encounter people who play a significant role in your journey. These individuals may offer guidance, support, encouragement, or even opportunities that help move you forward. What makes these connections meaningful is not just their presence, but the timing of their arrival. They come into your life exactly when you need them, often in ways you could not have predicted. These divine connections are part of the help that God sends, reminding you that you do not have to navigate everything on your own. At the same time, you will begin to see progress in areas where you once felt stuck. What used to feel impossible starts to feel achievable. Problems that once overwhelmed you begin to have solutions. You may not have all the answers yet, but you can clearly see that things are moving in a positive direction. This progress, even if it is gradual, brings a renewed sense of confidence. It reassures you that your efforts, your patience, and your faith were not in vain. Along with progress comes the restoration of hope. There may have been a time when you felt discouraged, when you questioned whether things would ever change, when you struggled to believe in a better outcome. But as these signs of movement begin to appear, hope starts to rise again within you. You begin to expect good things. You start to believe that what you have been praying for is not only possible, but within reach. This renewed hope is powerful because it shifts your mindset from doubt to expectation. You may also notice that things begin to fall into place with less struggle than before. Where you once had to push, force, and constantly worry, there is now a sense of flow. This does not mean that everything becomes effortless, but it does mean that there is a difference in how things come together. You begin to recognize that what is meant for you does not require constant struggle to obtain. When God is involved, there is a sense of alignment that makes the process smoother and more natural. Another sign is the confirmation you receive along the way. It may come through repeated messages, conversations, or even your own thoughts. You may hear the same encouragement from different people, notice patterns that point you in a certain direction, or feel a strong inner assurance that you are on the right path. These confirmations serve as reminders that you are being guided, that your steps are not random, and that you are moving in alignment with a greater plan. As these external signs become more visible, you also gain a deeper appreciation for the journey you have been through. You begin to see how every challenge, every delay, and every moment of uncertainty played a role in bringing you to this point. What once felt like obstacles now appear as stepping stones. You realize that without those experiences, you would not have developed the strength, wisdom, and perspective you now carry. There is also a sense of readiness that comes with this stage. You no longer feel unprepared or uncertain about what is ahead. Even if you do not know every detail, you feel equipped to handle what comes your way. This readiness is not based on perfection. It is based on growth. It comes from everything you have learned, everything you have endured, and everything you have overcome. You understand that you are capable, not because everything is easy, but because you have been strengthened through every difficulty. Gratitude also becomes a natural response during this time. You begin to appreciate not only the blessings that are coming into your life, but also the journey that led you here. You become thankful for the lessons, the growth, and even the challenges that once seemed overwhelming. This gratitude deepens your connection with God and allows you to fully embrace the help that is being given to you. You may also find that your confidence increases, not in a way that is based on pride, but in a way that is rooted in trust. You trust the process more, you trust your decisions more, and most importantly, you trust God more. This confidence allows you to move forward with courage, to take opportunities without fear, and to step into new experiences with a sense of assurance. As everything begins to align, you will notice that what once required so much effort now comes together with greater ease and clarity. The waiting season starts to make sense. The delays no longer feel like wasted time, but like necessary preparation. You see the bigger picture, and in that understanding, you find peace. And as these signs continue to unfold, you realize that the help you have been waiting for was never far away. It was being prepared step by step, moment by moment, in ways you could not always see. What is now becoming visible is the result